Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday Midday Chair Yoga. And today we are going to do a lovely practice. We focus often on the upper body, the upper back, the opening of the chest, which is very appropriate at this season, this time of the year in the wintertime. But it's also appropriate at this time of life. So for most of our chair yogis are of a certain age of maturity and experience, which means that we get a little bit stiffer in the upper back and a little bit more closed in the chest. So often our work is to open this area of the body for that reason as well. Just fortunately, at this time of the year, it happens to coincide with winter practices as well. So today we are going to use our belts or any kind of length. A scarf, a tea towel would do today. We don't need the long bit of it, we just need a short bit of it. And we're going to use a cushion. I've got this lovely colourful round cushion. You could use a block, but a block's very much smaller than a cushion, and we're going to need the width of the cushion while we practice today. So for those of you who are very mobile in the shoulders, a block might be appropriate. I'm going to stick mine out of the way. A cushion is what I am using today. So let us begin our practice with just having a moment of centering here in our seats. Sit towards the front of your chair, sit nice and tall and rest your hands wherever they're comfortable. Think about the head being like a balloon filled with helium, and this lightness draws the body into an upright position rather than being really forceful and rigid to sit upright. Let's relax the shoulders by giving them a little jiggle up and down, and then we can close our eyes or gaze gently downward. And then just take this moment to step away from all the other things going on around you, stepping into your time, your place, and your space for yoga. Notice how your body feels in this moment. Notice the areas of the body that feel a little bit stiff or tired or tense or sore. And work compassionately with those areas throughout the practice. Notice at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, spacious, and at ease. Feel that sense of ease rippling out from wherever it's centered. Perhaps you can feel a softening of the tension you were aware of as those ripples move through the body. Allow them to touch the forehead, softening the forehead, the area around the eyes, the mouth, the tongue, the jaw. Find a long, slow, deep breath. If it feels slightly out of reach right now, just breathing in a way that feels natural. But if you can, tap into that long, slow, deep breath. Doing so whenever you become aware of your breath. We're going to use our breath and some movement as we begin our practice. So you can keep your eyes closed if you're comfortable doing so, or leave them open if you prefer. We're going to breathe in as we sit tall and breathe out the chin towards the chest. Breathing in as you bring the head up to the neutral point and breathing out chin to chest. We're just going wherever gravity takes us without forcing or pushing. Breathing in back to center, breathing out chin to chest. Breathing in back to center. This time, as we breathe out, we're going to lift the chin just a little. And breathe out back to the center. Breathing in as we lift the chin just a little. Breathing out as we return to the center. Breathing in as we lift. I think I've reversed the breath, but that's all good. Breathing out as we return to center. Here we're just going to give our shoulders a little wiggle and then prepare by sitting tall, breathing in the center again, breathing out as we turn to the right. Breathing into center, we'll go to the opposite side. Breathing out, turn to the left. Breathing into center, breathing out as we turn. Breathing into center, breathing out as we turn, just side to side. One more in each direction, breathing into center, breathing out as we turn. Breathing into center and breathing out as we turn. Breathing into center, sitting tall again, breathing out, right ear to right shoulder, side bending to the right. Breathing into center, same thing, breathing out, left ear to left shoulder, side bend to the left. Breathing into center, breathing out as we lean over to the right. Breathing into center, breathing out as we lean over to the left. One more time to each side, breathing in to upright, breathing out to lean, breathing in to upright, breathing out to lean. Breathing in back to the center, and here we're just going to soften to stillness, blink the eyes open if they've been closed, and roll the shoulders a few times. Doesn't matter which direction you start in, because we're going to roll the shoulders in the opposite direction as well. Very good. Places. So here, I'm just going to free my feet from this block that they've been on and separate my feet ever so slightly. Hands onto the legs wherever is comfortable. We're going to round backwards and forwards through the spine. So to begin with, I'm going to slide my hands forward to my knees, scoop my belly in, round the back of the body, chin to chest, and then glide my hands back towards my hips as I sit tall, lift the chin, lift the chest, and glide the shoulders back. Let me turn sideways so it's easier to see. We're rounding forward as we scoop the belly in, the hands glide forward on the legs, rounding back to open the front of the body as the hands come back towards the hips. Let's do this also with our breath. So as we come into the open chest position, we're going to breathe in and breathe out as we round through the back of the body, scooping the belly in, chin to chest. Breathing in as we open. Breathing out as we round. Breathing in as you open. You don't have to lift your chin, but you can if you like. Breathing out as you round. Let's do one more of these. Breathing in to open the chest. Breathing out, rounding. And then we just simply sit tall as we let the breath fall back into its natural rhythm. I'm going to lose my jumper now. Not lose it, but just pop it to one side. Lose the jumper. It sounds very dramatic, doesn't it? And then we're going to do a little, I'm still just sitting this way just so it's easier to see at your end. So we're going to do a little stirring of the spine. So feet nice and firmly on the floor, and we are moving our chest and head in a circle around where the hips are stabilized on our seat. And we're firm in the belly as we move. And as you get into this movement, you might like a little drawing of the shoulders into that spiral as well. So perhaps as your left shoulder comes to your right, you roll to the right, and as your right shoulder comes to the left, you go round to the left. You can allow the back of the neck to be fluid in that it moves with the rest of the spine. Let's do one more in this direction. You can use your hands on your legs for support. When you stop and go the opposite way, we're going to start with small movements first. So we're just making a movement that feels really easy for the body, so we can build into a bit more stronger movement, nice and firm across the belly. And this time, if you wish to, you can add your shoulders in as you go, allowing the head to move at the end of the spine quite naturally, so there's no rigidity in the back of the neck. And we need to use the tummy muscles just a little, or just a lot, as the case may be. We'll do one more in this direction. Finishing as we come to the upright position, just allowing yourself to settle back in center. Take a moment here just to feel the weight drop into the chair, into your feet. Feel the effect of your practice. We're going to finish this particular seated bit of practice with the feet and knees in this position just by leaning forward. We want to lengthen the tailbone backwards so we get this sense of long back. So we're not rounding forward, but we're leaning forward. We're going to rest the hands onto the knees, and we're going to press the left knee in as we press the right hand out, the left knee out, sorry. No, start that again. We're going to press the hand against the knee. So as we turn to the right in this leaning twist, we're pressing the left knee into the left hand. And then we're going to come back through center, still leaning forward, and turn to the left, pressing the right knee into the right hand, or the right leg into the right hand. So we're just turning from side to side. We're lengthening out of our tails at the base of the spine. We've got the belly scooped in, the shoulders drawn back and down, not up around the ears. And we'll just do one more to each side with that little bit of resistance in the leg we're turning away from. And then from the center, we're going to come all the way up to an upright position. I'm just turning back to center as well. And we'll finish with 3 cleansing breaths. So breathing in, taking the arms around the body and up. Breathing out, palms together at the center of the chest. Breathing in, arms around the body and up. Breathing out, palms together, center of the chest. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. Very good. And just allowing your shoulders to do a little bit of shrugging, maybe a little bit of dancing shoulder action here. And that'll be very nice. We're going to take our awareness down to our feet while we let the upper body rest a little bit. We're going to start by spreading the toes out and then putting the big toes down, keeping the other toes up, and then reversing that. Spreading the toes out so all the toes are off the floor, putting all the other toes down, keeping the big toes up. So we're just going to spread and then release big toes down, spread with all the toes lifted, all the other toes down, big toes up. And we're just going from side to side, going through that position where the toes are spread and lifted from the floor at the same time. So there's always something off the floor, just a little bit from side to side. We'll do one more of each of those, big toes down, and then all the other toes down, big toes up. And then relax. Sit back into your chair seat so that the thighs are supported by the chair itself, the seat of the chair itself, and then do a little bit of ankle circling. So you might have noticed from the action of the toes just how active the muscles down the sides of the low legs are. Sorry, completely lost my words there. And then we're going to slide forward so we can put the feet onto the floor again. And we're going to rock up onto the balls of our feet, so the toes and the balls of the feet on the floor, and then rock back onto the heels. So just forwards and backwards, just a few times, which is very nice. For those who wish to, oh, sorry, I've moved my mat. You can rock all the way up onto the very tips of your toes and then through the balls of the feet and heels to the floor. So it's like a 3-step. So soles of the feet are flat, come onto the balls of the feet, and then the tips of the toes, balls of the feet, heels back to the floor. Let's do 2 more of those for those who would like to. Simply lifting and lowering the heels is fine if that is what your foot likes to do in this moment. Very nice. Aces. And then we're going to just lift the toes from the floor, one side and then the other. Just a little tapping of the ball of the foot to the floor. And you can do this a little quicker and a little quicker still if you can manage. And then rest. Again, sitting all the way back in your seat and giving yourself a little circling of the ankle or a swaying of the foot, circling of the feet. We do all of these sorts of leg swinging actions. All of them are useful. Do the thing that you feel is the most appropriate at the time, and then coming back into the center. So we're going to lift one heel and the opposite toe and then go to the other side. So we're swapping from side to side. Left heel and right toe lifted, right heel and left toe lifted. And if it helps, you can actually swing your arms. So a little soft in the elbow. And some people like to do same foot and hand as the lifted heel, and some opposite. And I don't know how I'm going to do. It's good to change. So try coordinating the opposite way every once in a while. It's a little bit of brain gym for us to get started. Lovely job. And then when you're ready, you can bring yourself back to center. And we're going to take our awareness into the space across the ball of the foot, from the inside edge to the outside edge of the foot. So we're going to roll the weight to the inside edge of the foot, lifting the little toe side of the ball of the foot, and then roll our awareness to the outside edge of the foot, lifting the big toe side of the ball of the foot. So we want to roll in and then roll out, trying to lift as much of the foot from the floor as you can as you roll in and out. So at the moment, we're focusing on keeping the knees quite still. So we don't really want to move the knees in and out as we move the foot. We just want to move the foot and the ankle. The knees might move just a touch, that's okay, but trying to stabilize and resist with the muscles of the legs. Lovely job. Let's do one more in and out, and then rest the feet. Slide back into your seat. Give a little bit of ankle twiddling or swaying of the low leg from side to side, or circling of the low leg from the knee down in both directions. All of these are useful movements to do. And then we'll come back to the front of our seats, and we want to widen the knees maybe a little, or maybe not actually, maybe bring the feet together a little. So we're going to roll to the outside edge of the foot, but let the knees come apart, and roll to the inside edge. Yes, we do want the feet a little bit further apart to bring the knees towards center. So here, instead of just the ball of the foot rolling, it's the whole foot rolling in and out, and we get this lovely movement through the rest of the legs as the rest of the leg supports the movement of the foot and the ankles. And here we can see a real demonstration of how the motion of the foot and the ankle is related to the movement of the legs into the hips, and how the movement of the hips is related to the comfort of the low back. So how flexible and strong your ankles are has a real bearing on the comfort that you feel in the low back area of the body. When you're ready, just bringing your feet back towards center. We're going to rest our feet onto the floor and return our awareness to our upper bodies. So with the left arm first, we're going to do a little circling of the shoulder. And if it feels good to circle the shoulder, you can circle your elbow. And if circling the shoulder feels a little bit crunchy, as long as there's no pain, it's fine. Just make those movements smaller and slower to lubricate that joint gently. But if you can, rolling those circles with the elbow. And if the elbow feels comfortable, you might draw circles with your arm around the body. It doesn't matter how big those circles are, they can be quite small. If that feels good to your body, if it feels like you're having a movement that is nurturing and easing. And if you want to do a little bit more, you can do a little bit more. And if you want to press into your feet and allow the rest of your body to move as your arm moves, then firming your belly muscles and just exploring the space around your body, allowing the back of the neck not to be rigid. Let's do 2 more of these. And then resting that arm down to your side. Take a moment to feel the difference between the 2 sides of the body. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. We're starting with rolling the shoulder, only the shoulder. If it feels crunchy, so my other side was a bit more crunchy than this side, but if it feels crunchy, maybe smaller and slower. If it feels crunchy but it's not painful, try a little bit with your elbow. Crepitus is the thing that causes the sensation of crunchiness. It happens for all different reasons. But in movement usually is better than no movement. If it feels good with the arm extended, with the elbow bent, you can try with the arm extended. It doesn't need to be big, it can be small movements. You can build into something a bit larger if you'd like to. You can keep your elbow a little softened. You don't need to have your arm rigidly straight. And if you'd like to, you can press into your feet. Use your arm on your legs for support, your opposite arm on your leg for support, and firm belly muscles to explore the space around you with that arm. So now again, it's just like the movements we made with our ankles and knees flapping in and out. Now we've got the body helping the shoulder to move. Let's do 2 more of these. Nice and firm across the belly, exploring the space all around you. And resting your arm down to your side, just taking a moment. Oh, should feel lovely and delicious. Muscles might be fatigued, but that is okay. Smashing. Oh, we're going to now take our cushions, which we've got to hand, but do some practice with our cushions as well. So just giving your shoulders a little jiggle and any movements across the neck and chest that are needed. That's all good. And then we're going to reach the cushion up over the head and catch hold of it in the other hand and then bring it down and just pass it across the waist for now. So up over the head to pass it into the opposite hand and then across the lap in between. Let's do 1 more in this direction. And then we're going to go the opposite way, reaching up and over, passing your cushion into the opposite hand and then across your waist. You can do this with a block or a book if you don't have a cushioned hand, but blocks are not quite so big, so they're harder to pass from one hand to the other. Excellent. So whilst we've got the cushion here, we're going to use it to just take the arms up to wherever is comfortable. Could be slightly in front of the body, could be directly over, and just a gentle sway from side to side. Doesn't need to be much here. We're not looking for the biggest side bend. We're just opening up the sides of the body, that space underneath the arms. Very good. And then we're going to bring the arms down, just give the shoulders a little bit of a wiggle. Nice. So we're seated right at the front of our chair with the feet for support. So we can now take this cushion behind the body and then in front. So passing from one hand to the other behind the body and in front. And 1 more time. Places. Now we go the opposite way. And try hard not to lean all the way forward to make this happen. So we're trying to stay upright, use the shoulders. I think we're going to do 1 more in this direction. I think that might be 1 more than we did in the other direction, but it's fine. Give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then our final movement with the cushion is to pass it up and behind the body to meet the arm diagonally at the bottom. So I'm going to stand up so I can demonstrate what I mean. So we're going to reach the cushion up and then pass it behind the body to catch with the other hand up behind the body but at the bottom, and reach down and then do the same thing on the other side. So reaching up, passing the cushion from the top hand to the bottom hand. So you can do this on your chair. You can do it standing up if you prefer. We're just going to do, after this one, 2 more to each side. Lovely motion to help open the chest and to move the shoulders as well. And when you've done basically 3 with each arm, we're going to put our cushions, we're going to sit down. We're going to place our cushions towards the left hip, just holding it in place as we sit tall, and then take the right ear towards the right shoulder. And for those who enjoy it, you can do a little lift and lower of the chin. So you don't need to do much here. It's a nice slow movement for those who are doing something. We'll do 1 more. Chin to chest in the middle. Bring the head upright, and then we'll swap that cushion to the opposite side, just holding it against the right side of the body or the chair. Sitting tall, left ear to left shoulder. If you wish to, you can add a little nod of the head, a lift and lower of the chin. Last time. As the chin comes down, you can bring your head to center, lift your head to the upright position, and then we can place our cushions down out of the way. Give the shoulders a little bit of a wriggle. Maybe here it's really useful to give your hands a little bit of a wriggle as well. So rolling through the wrists with long fingers, rolling in the opposite direction when you're ready. And then thumbs into the palms of the hands, wrapping the other fingers around to roll through the wrists again. This feels so good. And rolling in the opposite direction as well. Super stuff. And then just letting the arms swing a little bit, the shoulders shrugging up and down as we release the effort of our practice so far. Very good. So now let us come up to standing. So we're going to place the feet directly underneath the knees. We want to have quite a good purchase with the buttocks, maybe even the tops of the thighs on the chair, so that we know the chair is where it is when we come to do our sit and hovers, sit to stand. So we're going to firm the belly muscles, and we're just going to rock the hips up and down. Just a little gentle press into the feet to get that brief lift of the buttocks off the chair. A couple of times. Let's do 2 more. Lovely job. And then we're going to use a little bit more effort in the belly muscles. We can even use momentum from the arms to rock up and hover, and then sit gently down. So rock to hover, standing onto the legs, this bent knee standing position, and gently down. 2 more like that. Gently releasing. Last one to hop up and gently release down. And then from here, we're going to come all the way up to standing and then all the way back down again. It's hard work for these legs, but they've been resting for a wee while, so should be up for it. So first we rock forward and hover, and then press into the feet and open the front of the body as we stand tall. Maybe the hips gently come forward. And as we come the opposite way, we're reaching the hands forward and the tailbone backwards at the same time to lightly kiss the hips down to the chair. And the same thing again. Hover for a moment and press through the legs to stand all the way tall, opening the front of the body. And then as you come the opposite way, lengthening your tailbone as you bend your knees and lightly sit down. 1 more time like this, all the way up and all the way down. And then this time we're going to stay standing up when we come up to standing. So we're hovering and then pressing through the legs to stand all the way tall, and then floating the arms down to the sides, giving ourselves a little dancing, shoulder dancing hip action. Ooh. And then take a moment in stillness here, just letting the fingertips fall down towards the floor, that sense of lightness and lift with the crown of the head. Maybe close your eyes or gaze gently downward. Become aware of the effect of your practice so far. Very nice. And whenever you're ready, you can just wriggle yourself one more time. Maybe shake out the legs if they enjoy a little bit of shaking out. And then we are going to, I realize my mat's a little bit far forward, so I'm just going to bring it back to here. We're going to place the chair at one end of the mat so that, well, I've got a mat, you don't, at one end of your space, so that we can do our Kati Chakrasanas just to release out a little bit before we come to doing some standing work. So we've got the feet nice and wide, a little softness across the knees, a lift into the crown of the head, and then just gently turning from side to side. Would you believe that I managed to teach the entire mat class without doing this today? Because normally we do it every time. So it feels quite odd to come to this in chair yoga having not done it at all today yet. But we're going to let the arms wrap around the body and tap wherever they fall. You can keep the hips a little bit centered, or you can let them sway if that feels okay on your knees. Finding that sense of letting go through the shoulders and the arms, the fingers and the hands. Whenever you're ready, if you wish to, you can pivot on your toes, just doing a little gentle twist through the hips here. Still that lift through the belly muscles and the crown of the head. If you wish to, you can add a soft bend in the knees, just a light bounce and twist. Bounce and twist. Very good. And then we'll lose the bounce and simply pivot. And then lose the pivot and simply sway back to standing in your own time. When you come back to standing, taking a little roll of the shoulders, and then with the elbows, a big roll of the shoulders. Let's do that one more time. Little roll of the shoulders, and then with the elbows, a big roll of the shoulders. Fantastic stuff. Okay, so we have worked recently with our belts doing an action where we draw the belt towards us from above, down, 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 and we're going to use the belt in a slightly different way today. We're going to hold the belt behind the body and try to get the hands quite close towards each other on the belt, and at the same time rolling the shoulder blades towards each other and lengthening the arms. So by doing that action, we get a little bit more openness across the chest. Let's practice just this to begin with. You could equally do this sitting down, you just need a bit of space behind you. So we want to hold the belt with the palms turning upwards, so the backs of the hands are towards the floor. And we want to move the hands towards each other as much as feels comfortable, but also lengthen the arms. Then we're rolling the shoulder blades towards each other. And as we do that, we want to avoid lifting the chest to be able to do it. So we're anchored in the belly muscles. We're rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, lengthening the arms. And you can play with perhaps lifting the arms gently and lowering. You don't need to lift them high. We can even just pulse up a little bit, or even just have the intention to lengthen. This is enough. And hopefully what you feel is an openness underneath the rib cage a little bit, maybe across the sternum a little bit as well. For those who enjoy this lift of the arms, you might like to soften the knees, firm the belly, and just open the chest a little bit. So go to that point where you're lifting the chest away from the hips. Now that we've got everything else working in place, we can do one more of those. Definitely one to avoid if you feel unbalanced doing it. When you're ready, relaxing the arms on the belt, and we're just going to soften the shoulders forward a little bit. Let's hold on to our chair, and we want to have soft knees and bend forward. So we're a little bit draping forward in the back of the body as well. We're going to dangle one arm. This one is my left arm. And whilst we dangle, we can lean on the chair in any way that feels good so that we can give this arm a little bit of a wriggle, the dangling left arm, and maybe do a little bit of stirring with it as well. So just allowing the weight of the arm to be heavy, imagining we're stirring like a perpetual motion. It's not a big effort. And then we can go the opposite way as well. So once the arm is stirring, it pretty much takes care of it moving itself. We're just creating a little bit of traction across the shoulder joint there, a little bit of lubrication, which is nice. When you're ready, you can come back to center and do a little bit of lifting of the shoulder blade and lowering. So we don't want to bend the elbow at all here. What we want to do is use the back of the body to lift and lower, lift and lower. One more time, lift and lower. When you're ready, come to an upright position, just feeling the difference between the two sides of the body. Hopefully this side feels delicious now. And we can do the same thing on the other side. So holding onto the chair, perhaps leaning onto the chair with your elbow, we're bending over, scooping the belly in to round through the back of the body and dangle the right arm down. We start with a little bit of sort of shaking around of that arm, jiggling and wiggling. And then when you're ready, you can begin to stir that arm in a circle. The weight of the arm itself is creating the most important feature of the practice. So let your arm be loose and heavy here, but firm through the rest of the body. You can even rest your forehead down if you find it the strain in the back of the neck. When you're ready, you can go in the opposite direction. It's just lovely to find a way to move the shoulder joint nice and gently, but that is nurturing and lubricating. And then you can bring the arm back to stillness and firm in the belly now, keeping the arm lengthened, just encouraging the back of the body to contract, to lift the shoulder up and lower down. So we're drawing the shoulder blades towards each other as we lift and lower, lift and lower. I think probably we should do one more on this side, lift and lower, and maybe one more again. ever wanting to do more and more. And so from there, just gently coming into an upright position, feeling the effect across your shoulders and your chest and upper back, and hopefully it feels great. Woo! Super stuff. So having done all of this preparation, what can we do with our bodies that is really using this? We're going to do our warrior ones. So we're going to come all the way into the chair. We want to be quite close and step back with the left foot first. And that left foot, the heel finds the floor, but the heel turns slightly in, the toes slightly out. And we can bend the front knee towards the chair back. If you wish to, you can bring that chair back towards your bent knee if that chair towards your bent knee if you'd like to. We're going to lengthen both legs. So what we're going to begin with is just pressing into the left heel as we bend the right knee, holding onto the chair with the right foot, but keeping the body nice and upright, firming that space between the shoulder blades. And we'll move the left arm, not the right arm, left arm around the body in a nice big circle. And we're going to do two more of those. Excuse me. Lovely job. Nice and firm in the feet and the legs. This time, as we move the left arm around the body, we might reach back ever so slightly to reach for the left leg. And then we can turn the head to look to the front. So lifted in the belly, open in the front of the body, and then gently coming to an upright position. We're going to keep the legs as they are and swap our hands on the chair. So now it's the right arm that's moving around the body in a nice big circle. It might feel a bit more awkward. We're still pressing into the legs, still firm, and that front knee bending, back heel pressing into the floor, lifting in the belly muscles. As your arm goes round the third time, just take it to the right hip and see if you can lean slightly back, holding onto the chair and just finding a bit of openness across the body. When you're ready, coming back to the center, we're going to place both hands onto the chair. Square up your right foot, so it's pointing forward, not out to the side, and step your right foot back to the left and give yourself a little chair-based downward dog. Taking your hands down a little bit lower on your seat if you'd like to, keeping the knees a little soft, swaying the hips from side to side, maybe wriggling the chest or turning the head if it feels good to do that. And then when you're ready, you can look towards your chair, walk your hands up and your feet in so that you come all the way back to the front of your mat. So we're going to do that same thing again, but with the other leg. So we leave the left foot forward and step the right foot back and just find that warrior one pose. So I'm going to draw my chair towards my front knee a little bit. That's so that I can really hold on to the chair because we're going to lean away from it. We want it as close as we can. The right heel angled slightly in, the right toe slightly out. We're going to lengthen both legs and then think about the feet. Think about the outside edge of the foot, the heel of the back foot, and then pressing into that front knee, the left knee bending, and just making sure that right leg is really secure as well. We're nice and firm in the belly, but open in the chest because the upper back is working. We're going to keep the left hand on the chair and we're going to draw nice big circles around the body with the right hand. We can go nice and slowly here. We're just allowing the chest and head to move as we move. And this time, as you take your right arm up and over, you might reach it back towards your right leg slightly. You might turn to look forward with the chest slightly, or the head rather slightly, and just drawing the chest open. And then we'll bring the arm back to neutral as the chest comes back to neutral. Swap hands on the seat, firm in the belly. We keep the legs nice and strong and the same, and we draw circles around the body with the left arm. So we're doing both sides. The legs remain the same, so they're working all of the time. This time, as we draw the left arm around the body, we're going to take the left hand to the low back and just see if we can open that side of the body. So we're actually looking more to the left this time. The chest is opening, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, firm in the belly, and then gently bringing ourselves back to upright, both hands onto the seat, squaring the right foot to point forwards instead of out to the side, and stepping the left foot back, giving your knees a little wiggle, hips a little wiggle, maybe head a little wiggle from side to side. Doing anything that feels good. If you wish to go down a little bit lower on your chair, then taking the opportunity, keep lengthening the low back. A couple of deeper breaths. And then when you're ready, you can walk your hands up and your feet in at the same time to bring yourself to an upright position. Very good. So well done, guys. That was a really nice practice that combined everything that we've been doing into a lovely set of flowing warrior ones. What could be better? So we're going to prepare for relaxation now. So you might need something like an extra layer or two, or you might like a blanket. I'm just going to grab mine from over here and put my jumper on as well, and my scarf. So one of the things I would say is that when we're doing a lot of work with the upper back, neck and shoulders, it is really worth keeping your neck warm. And the reason for that is that it helps us to be aware of keeping the neck lengthened. So I wear a scarf a lot, but it protects our throat chakra from getting overexhausted or overused. And it also helps to soften muscles that perhaps have been used in a way they're not often used, so that they don't feel abused. I'm going to have just a little swig of my water before we finish, getting ourselves ready for relaxation and wrapping up nice and warm on these cold winter days. Keeping warm is part of the practice of balancing out the winter energy. Super stuff. So now as we come to sitting down, we want to sit right back into the seat. We want to really let the chair back support us as much as feels comfortable. And for some people, you might prefer getting yourself settled on a bed or a sofa so that you can recline in comfort. And if you're doing this on the video, you can recline in comfort and at the end of the video, just stay there and have an extra rest. You really deserve it today. We're going to rest our hands wherever they're comfortable and then gently close the eyes. Let's take a few deep breaths here. We're going to breathe in deeply and sigh gently out through the mouth. Let's repeat that 3 more times. A deep breath in. Let all the effort of your practice go. A deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. A deep breath in and surrender back and down into the chair, into the floor. Allow your breath to fall into its natural rhythm and fall away into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead. Feel it soften. Feel the area around your eyes relaxing. That space between the forehead, in the middle of the forehead, between the eyebrows, separating. The mouth, tongue, and jaw relaxing. Become aware of the back of your body. Feel the back of the body where it's in contact with your chair or the floor, the soles of the feet, backs of the thighs, buttocks, sit bones, perhaps parts of the back of the spine, shoulder blades, maybe even the back of the head. Feel that sensation of contact between your body and the chair or the floor. Move your awareness to all the parts of the back of the body that are not in contact directly with the chair or the floor. The Achilles, the calves, the backs of the knees, maybe some parts of the backs of the body, the back of the neck, maybe the back of the head. Feel that sensation of space between the back of your body and the chair or the floor. Allow those areas of space to be like cushions of air, buoyant and supportive, so that the whole of the back of the body feels like it can let go and relax back and down. Move your awareness to the front of your body, becoming aware of the space over you and around you. The touch of air on your face. The movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe. The weight and the warmth of your extra layers or a blanket over you. Allow the whole body to feel heavy, warm, supported, softening back and down. Draw your awareness now to your breath, becoming aware of your natural, slow, gentle, deep breath. With each breath in, drawing in light, energy and harmony. Each breath out, an opportunity to release tension, fatigue, and discomfort. Breathing in light, energy, and harmony. Breathing out tension, fatigue, and discomfort. Allow your breath to fall in this rhythm whenever you're aware of it. Allowing your body and mind to relax a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath and bring your awareness back to your hands and your feet, maybe wiggling your fingers and toes or rolling wrists and ankles. When you feel ready, taking a deep breath in and stretching the body in any way that feels good, maybe lengthening arms and legs, maybe yawning to lengthen the face. Ooh. When you're ready, you can gather yourself back towards center. Make any final movements that feel good. And we're going to palm our eyes today. So we're going to bring the hands together and clap them twice, and then press firmly and rub hard together. The idea being to get some movement into the arms, really causing a bit of friction to get some warmth into the palms of the hands. When the hands begin to feel warm, you can place them over your eyes, closed eyes, just enjoying that warm, dark space. Blinking your eyes open when you're ready, releasing your hands down and opening your eyes. I hope you've enjoyed this practice today, and I hope you feel good for it for the rest of the day and into the week as well. All of these movements that we do help to find more space for us to breathe into, and the more fluidly our breath moves, the better we have for clarity of thought and better respiration, both in the lungs and at a cellular level. Just everything is good with a good breath. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you again. Namaste.